Alright, so now we're going to use the same type of idea what we had with our pyramids and prisms. We're going to do with cylinders and cones. And this is the one where I jokingly kind of get on my high horse, because if I have a cone that is the same height as my cylinder, has the same base as my cylinder, obviously once again it's going to have a smaller volume. And in fact, if I did the same experiment like I did earlier with my prism, you're going to end up getting the fact that 3 cones will fill up that cylinder that has the same base and the same height. So the volume of a cone is pi r squared times the height all over 3. Now here's the one thing I want you to remember. If you go to a state fair, they always give you out free samples of water somewhere. There's some business doing that. Or if you're in the business world, there's going to be a water dispenser for you. And if you have one of those employers who's being frugal, they're going to get it in the shape of a cone, because you actually drink 2/3 less. You only get a third of what you're going to have. So if you're ever given a cone-shaped cup, take at least 3 drinks from it, like when you do one whole one, and another one. You get the same value finally as a cylinder. So don't forget that. It will help you work it out and be able to have the value. Oh, and by the way, if you prefer writing this in this manner, that is okay too. Whatever works best for you. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but I want to remind you of your slant height, and radius. You're going to want to use the fact that a right triangle is going to help you solve for what's missing. Height only is used for volume. Slant height is used for lateral area and surface area. Please don't confuse the two. So now I'm going to ask you to find the volume of a cone with a radius of 7 centimeters and a height of 15 centimeters, which means I don't have to calculate really anything here. So my volume is pi r squared times the height over 3. So I got my radius to be 7, so it's squared. My height is 15 all over 3. When you plug it in, you square 7 is 49 times 15 and divide it by 3. The pi comes along. You get 245 pi cubic centimeters. And that means approximately, they say, and round to the nearest tenth, that's going to get you 769.7 cubic centimeters. You need the answer for both. Now notice, sometimes we don't straight out give you the information that you need. It says find the volume of a cone with a base circumference. So here I have my base. The circumference is 24 pi. And a height 2 inches more than twice the radius. Well, I don't know the radius, but they give me circumference. So how in the world am I going to find the radius? That's right, you're going to work backwards. We're going to use the fact that I know the formula for the circumference is 2 pi r. So I know 24 pi equals 2 pi, times the radius. I divide both sides by 2 pi. Your radius equals 12. And then my height is 2 inches more than twice the radius. That's 2 times r. So really, my height is 2 times 12 plus 2, which is going to give me 26 inches. So now when I do my volume, pi r squared times the height over 3, I got pi times 12 squared times the height of 26 all over 3. If you plug it in, you get 1,248 pi cubic inches. It's not that difficult, is it? All right, let's just flip it over and let's keep working with these. Find the volume of the cone. Well, volume formula again is pi r squared times the height over 3. So I have my radius, it's 16. I have my height. Oh, wait. That's not height, is it? This is slant height. How in the world am I going to solve for height? Well, it's a right triangle. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So I'm going to use the hypotenuse squared plus the radius squared equals the slant height squared. So height squared plus 16 squared equals 34 squared. So height squared plus 256 equals 1156. Subtract 256, your height squared equals 900. Take the square root of both sides. Your height is equal to 30. Now I have the height, now I have the radius, I can plug it in. So I got pi times 16 squared times the height of 30 all over 3, which is going to give you another very large number here. It's going to be 2,560 pi cubic centimeters. All right, let's do the next one. And by the way, you'll see this in homework, so make sure you remember how to do that. Again, now I have an oblique cone, not a right cone, but notice they give us the height and they give us the diameter. So I got to make sure I remember my radius is 9 meters. Otherwise, it's just a plug and chug problem. Pi times the radius times the height all over 3. It's 216 pi cubic meters. Now someone goes, what if I have a fraction? Leave it as a fraction and just put your label and bring along the pi. Now we're going to do work backwards again. It says find the length of the radius of a cone that has a volume of 20 pi cubic centimeters. So I know volume, and a height of 7. So I'm going to write my formula down. And then I plug and chug everything I know. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go 21 pi is equal to pi r squared, my height is 7, all over 3. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm going to multiply 3 to both sides, right? So that way I can get rid of the 3's on the right. So I get 63 pi is equal to 7 pi times the radius squared. And then we're going to divide by 7 pi to get rid of the little details. And my radius squared is equal to 9. You take the square root. The radius is 3. So my radius is 3 centimeters. Hope that works just a little bit for you and that we're able to calculate volume.